What's up guys, it's Ashnichrist and welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to talk to you guys about 6 self-love tips for content creators. And the reason that this is important is because so many of us are constantly giving and constantly expending so much energy to create things that sometimes we forget to take care of ourselves as well. A lot of people can see it as like selfish or that you don't care about others whenever you're trying to take care of yourself, which obviously isn't the case. Because we are constantly giving, it's really important for us to do things that make our cups full again and that make us feel fulfilled. So my first tip is sleep. Obviously, sleep is really good for us. We know that it lessens stress and it helps our body recover from the day. It helps our mind be more clear and helps us wake up with enough energy to conquer the next day. But the things that we do before we go to sleep and immediately whenever we wake up are important as well. And that's why you see so many people creating nighttime routines and morning routines, because these types of routines help you get into the state of mind that you need to be in to create content and to share your energy with the world. Most scientists suggest not using any kind of electronics for about an hour before you go to sleep. And the reason for that is because most electronics use blue light, which is an artificial light, and this light actually interferes with your biological clock, so your circadian rhythm, which is what helps you get tired and helps you wake up. So not using technology the last hour before you go to sleep is really important. Instead, you can do something like reading a book or journaling. Tip number 2 is disconnecting and getting away from the internet for a while. This is actually a really common cognitive behavioral therapy strategy that a lot of psychologists suggest, which is actually removing yourself from any kind of activities that remind you of the thing that stresses you out. So if you're a live streamer, you purposely do not place yourself in situations where live streaming is occurring. So instead, you will do something like go to the movies, completely disconnect, don't think about it at all. And this goes for any job. You can do this for anything. Don't think about it and focus your attention elsewhere, because that helps the mind relax and take a breath and step back. And whenever you do come back to that space that you're working in, you are able to see things much more creatively, objectively, clearly, and make better decisions. This is a big part of the reason why I did that 3-day social media detox like a couple months ago, because it's so important to give yourself a break from feeling like you need to be everywhere all the time. That's a huge problem with our society right now, and especially with people that are creating content online, is that we always feel like we have to be posting on Twitter and Facebook and making YouTube videos and live streaming on Twitch and posting on Instagram, and it's just constant all the time. And now all of those platforms have live streaming options too, so we can invest so much more time everywhere. So taking that break and stepping back and coming back to your life with more clarity because you've been away from it for 3 days helps you a lot. My third tip is to exercise. And this is another very popular one that we hear all the time, but honestly, exercise is so important. If you're having like an anxiety attack or a panic attack, one of the best things that you could do is jump on the treadmill. It helps so much because it helps your body kind of get rid of all of those negative hormones that are affecting you. And it doesn't really matter what kind of exercise that you do. You can go to the gym, you can run, you can go for a bike ride. It doesn't matter as long as you keep exercising. So if you get bored with something, you can switch it up, or if you just want to try something new, like go for it. But the main thing here is that you just need to exercise, even if it's just for 30 minutes a day or an hour a day. An hour a day is 4% of your day. Tip number 4 is be social. Being social is really important, especially for those of us who tend to, that was my phone. Being social is very important for those of us that tend to isolate ourselves. Whenever you start to isolate yourself, you turn all of your attention inwards. So all of those normal body aches and pains, all of those maybe sad things that have happened in your life, or those things that you feel depressed about sometimes, you're just a little upset about, can just come bubbling to the surface if you don't get outside of yourself sometimes. And the benefit also to getting outside of yourself means that you have have more stories to bring back to your community. So whether that's making YouTube videos, live streaming on Twitch, or any other content that you guys are creating, it is more interesting if you have more stories to tell people and you have more of an active lifestyle. Tip number 5 is do something just because it's fun. This especially relates to your hobbies. So I know a lot of people that maybe are designing full-time and they have just grown to absolutely hate design because it's their full-time job now. So it's not necessarily their hobby anymore. And whenever you turn your passion and your hobby into a full-time career, it can actually make you see that hobby in a negative light because you're doing it all the time. But a good strategy is to take time to do that hobby for fun. So even if you're just taking a couple of hours a week to sit down and make a design for yourself, that can help you immensely. Unfortunately, that transition is extremely common, especially for millennials right now, because a lot of us are turning our passions into careers and then we're losing that passion for that old hobby. So it's really sad because that's something that you loved. Like, why you wouldn't want to lose that passion for that thing because you've turned it into a career. Like, that sucks. Nobody wants to do that. But it does happen, and just safeguarding yourself for as long as you can by taking the time to just do that thing for fun as much as possible before you start to get burnt out on it is awesome. My sixth and final tip is my favorite tip, and this is actually the thing that has changed so much of my life. Meditate. Okay, I know this sounds really kooky. A lot of people are like, this is woo-woo stuff if you just like sit down and I just say om over and over. But meditation trains your brain. It's like lifting weights for your arms, but instead it's in your mind. So meditation, I feel like for me, the best thing that it does is that it kind of gives you this space between an event occurring and your reaction to it. So before I was meditating, something would happen and I would immediately have a reaction, an emotional reaction to something. So it could be anger, happiness, or whatever. But now that I'm meditating and I'm training my mind, I have this little space in between where I can double check myself and think, okay, my response might not be best for this situation, so let me backtrack this and come at it with a better point of view. Aside from that, meditation is really great for anxiety and depression, comparing yourself, any kind of negative things that you have going on inside of your heart can definitely be worked through once you meditate and you start to develop that space between your reaction and an event occurring. I love meditation. I definitely recommend Headspace, by the way, if you guys haven't checked out that app. I'll leave a link down below because it works so well. It is so great. And yeah, meditating, seriously. And you don't even have to like sit in this specific way and say om and have your fingers like this. Like there's no real specific 100% foolproof way that you have to meditate. You meditate in a way that makes you comfortable and that you feel like you can examine your own thoughts. But yeah, I could probably talk about the benefits of meditation seriously for like, I don't know, for probably an entire another video. I'll probably just have to make another video out of this because I'm so passionate about how much this helps. These tips are awesome, but I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't do very great at these sometimes. We're all human. I think it's okay to fail. I think that there are different seasons in your life whenever you say, all right, I'm going to focus really hard on this one thing. And right now, your season of life might be self-love. And that's great. But there are times whenever you aren't going to be able to focus on that much. And some of these things will kind of fall by the wayside, and that's okay too. It's taken me a long time to come to terms with the fact that life is cyclical and that we are not going to be 100% on the ball with everything 100% of the time. There are different seasons of your life, and it's okay if you need to let these things kind of fall by the wayside while you focus on something else. But remember, at some point you will want to come back to this once you are feeling depleted, or like you've hit a brick wall, or you feel like you have just given so much and you're burnt out and you have no energy left inside of you. Everyone deserves to chase their dreams, but sometimes you just get freaking tired, dude. that's all right. Just go exercise and then go to bed. You good? Let me know your favorite #1 self-care, self-love thing that you love to do for yourself down below in the comments. And if you're new here, slap me on the face right below this video for more videos multiple times a week about entrepreneurship and content creation, but only if you believe that everybody deserves to chase their dreams. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!